Okay, so psychology record for Dr. Rodrigo. This will all come back up in discussion in person when I'm forced to go and visit in person under the PTO. If you've ever loved someone who was on a PTO, you don't know where she is, you'll be on a PTO. Rodrigo, my argument is this: if you analyze thoroughly the Bible, you want honors, perhaps a knighthood from the crown. You're not going to get it by injecting 5-year-old kids' balls with tranquilizers. Like I said the other day, it's a useful strategy for the animals that we eat. To tranquilize and sedate them. It makes the job easier for the butcher, to deliver it to the butcher. But my municipal accord requires that I be protected from psychiatry. This includes protected from police. Because what will happen is you'll be saying things like, will you impersonate a psychiatrist, or you impersonate a policeman? When you go, no, these 4 agencies, media, the press, the church, psychiatry, and the pigs, all converged to heartbreak at age 5. So I don't have the motive. I can't work up the motive to go and be a true offender. I tried flipping the bird to a moving camera at the bus stop, stuff like that. But why shouldn't I? I mean, they haven't done much for me. So, what I'll say is this: because people read Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, they're reading Matthew into Mark. They think that Jesus is actually confessing to this charge of being the king of the Jews, but what they don't realize is that whoever wrote St. Matthew's and St. Luke's Gospel did so 10 years after the writing of the Gospel of Mark, and they did it while in possession of the Gospel of Mark. And a fucking pirate can spot that in 2 seconds. So once you analyze chapter 12 of Mark's Gospel properly, you'll realize that since the Jews were already a conquered people, asking Jesus of Nazareth, who was a dude that cared for the whole batch of them, he was not concerned with rank or title. It shows in the humility of his poetry, the Son of Man. He was creating hope for his fellow enslaved people, and I believe he was genuinely deterred from the Genesis accord, the creation of Adam and Eve in breeding the garden. I think he was deterred from that. I think he was deterred even from Mosaic 10 Commandments, because he steals a horse or a donkey in one gospel. So you have the case of a rebel. But what happens? I'll be back. Sorry. So what happens, Dr. Rodrigo, is that these mashers, they don't consider the Apocrypha. For instance, the whole story of the doubting Thomas and the importance of doubt is something that religion obliviates, and it creates faith, which is a market that you as a psychiatrist move in on, because you think that there are pathways to belief that you can negotiate, be it through verbal counselling or be it through the force of injections. But if your injections do cause erectile dysfunction, you're a sex offender, not a psychiatrist. And what I think it all comes down to is that loincloth. The guy's getting killed. He's been shamed while being killed. They've asked him, "Are you the king of the Jews?" And he's replied, "He's being so enslaved and so subordinate to the person questioning him that he didn't comprehend the question. How would you? There was no monarchy operating among the conquered Jews. They were conquered by a kingdom that had a friendship and ties to the Roman Empire, first century Roman Empire. So the guys asked, "Are you the king of the Jews?" It's like you asking me, "Am I the highest authority in Canberra?" And no, I'm not. I hate the very notion of it. I just know that I have dealt with humans in a better way than you. And you obviously want to scam credits off my 5-year-old balls. So I'll just light a cigarette if you don't mind. Yeah, so an antichrist is not a person who devil worships. That's what Satan, the song is supposed to prove to you. Like, there's no devil worship in that. It's an antichrist does not agree that the ransom money put out for bribery for the kidnap abduction of Jesus of Nazareth, the Nazarene. Followed by the procession to his accusation, "Are you the king of the Jews?" which is an incoherent question. Jesus would have had no idea at the time what was supposed to follow that question. Was he being offered honours for all the work that he had done for his people? Was he being made fun of? Well, evidently was both, because if you want to mock someone properly, you don't conceal their dick when you nail them to a cross. You let their dick shame them all the more. It was not kosher, and it was not normal process for the Romans to bother paying attention to concealment of genital for everyone they crucified. So what you get in Jesus' case is you've got mockery shown by the nails in his arms and his feet, mockery from his crown of thorns, and you've got a loincloth over his dick. Now, when someone's getting murdered, the central nervous system goes through all kinds of spasms, and one you might call one of them an awe spasm, because this person's dying, they're realizing they're not going to find love anymore. All their life is going. I submit to you that as he was murdered, his dick became erect, but while in a state of absolute anxiety and pain. And it freaked out those who were killing him, even. So they put a loincloth on him. And what Gospel of Mark shows, if you then go and study in order, you have that a Bronze Age kingdom didn't want to bear the shame and bad reputation, discredit, for the execution of an innocent poet. So what they did was they got a repressed gay man called Saint Paul, the apostle, to travel through the pagan areas of Rome and to incorporate all these stories from supernatural feats from previous deities like Dionysus, the Greek god of wine, from negative 1500 CE, so 1500 years before the birth of Jesus. Some people think AD means after death and BC means before Christ. But if AD meant after death and Jesus was born in 0 AD, then he was born dead. There's no way to... It means Anno Domini, year of the Lord. And evidently our government represents that. And Antichrist actually acknowledged it. I think we acknowledge Jesus with more respect than the Christians. But that's an argument between me and the Christians. It's one they haven't dared to comment on yet because they're too busy putting his imaginary corpse in their mouths while thinking that Anthony Hopkins made me cannibalistic. Mr. Hopkins does what he wants, just like me. And he watches how the events around you mold you existentially, as I do too. I need a new cat. Mr. Hopkins has a cat. The Egyptians built shrines to cats. They loved them. Cats and tigers. Smart animals. Very switched on. They will sense your mood from the other end of the room and work out exactly how to talk back to you. I used to get chest massages from my cat. She would sleep on the part of my ribs that the forces of an attrition of religion cause, in my case, offset and deformity. And this occurs anytime that the four agencies that compromised my municipal court, once again I'll state, religion, police, psychiatry, and the press. And so, yeah, so you want to eat me for breakfast? Well, you're welcome to try now. But it's your credits, Dr. Rodrigo, it's your credits on the line. If you want to turn into an Indian pedophile and be publicly shamed for being a psychiatric pedophile, you need to think about like how do you strategically apply pedophilic treatment to an adult? Well, if you work out what caused the heartbreak when they were a kid, and you just repeat the offence on them over and over as an adult, while somehow suggesting that because they're over the age of consent, that somehow magically poof the forces of attrition that compromised and caused heartbreak during childhood no longer apply. It's not the case. But look, it's truly not the case at all, and you know that well. You know that if I were to snoop into your private life and find out that you like strap-on dildos lubed with vindaloo chutney, but if I found out all your pet hates, if I found out what pisses you off, you could use it to break you. And that's what you're trying to do. Cause the problem and then apply tranquilizers saying they're the solution. It will not work, Dr. Rodrigo. Read Mark chapter 12 and then read the cover up. And then study the health statistic that you know of bisexual lifespans. Dead in their 30s. Mental breakdowns. Psychiatry doesn't help us. It's a threat to us. So you're infringing an entire movement that's globally known by trying to make a patient out of me. While I have more patience than you anyway, and while I defend the Human Rights Charter better than you anyway, Since you called me, I have to say you're welcome to try, but this goes online. We will call you back and tell you. Don't call us, we'll call you. Don't call us, we'll call you. Do you think that animals believe in God? Do animals believe in dog? YouTube SAY10 Marilyn Manson. And suck a dick. See you later.